It's Saturday afternoon. What time is it? 7 minutes after 5. Today's reading is inspiring, I would say, uplifting, encouraging, definitely encouraging. So here goes. The benefits of a faith practice. The benefits of a faith practice. First quote is from Corrie ten Boom. I first learned about her when we lived in Holland. And she was someone who, during the war, along with her family, actually helped to keep a lot of people safe, a lot of Jewish people, and also people who were handicapped. I didn't realize until I reread something about her history that during the war, the Second World War, that is, not only did the Nazis get rid of a lot of Jewish people, gas chambers, etc., but they also actually killed a lot of disabled people. They had, so I just didn't realize this. They had a policy that they would just get rid of disabled people. She's someone who survived the war. She actually survived it for quite a long time. She was born in the Netherlands, in Haarlem, not Harlem, New York, Haarlem, the Netherlands, the original Haarlem. She was a Christian. She practiced her faith. And eventually, late in life, she moved to California, and that's where she passed away. And she's well known for just hanging in there. She was arrested by the Nazis. Her sister died in prison. She was released for some wild and wonderful reason and continued to help people who were handicapped to avoid being rounded up and killed by the Nazis. And after the war, she continued her Christian faith, and she was a very inspiring figure. And as I said, when I lived in Holland, that's when I first learned about her. And it's a very inspiring story. And she says, faith sees the invisible, believes the unbelievable, and receives the impossible. Corrie ten Boom. Her last name is spelled B-O-O-M, and in Dutch that's pronounced Boom. In English it would be boom. Faith sees the invisible, believes the unbelievable, and receives the impossible. And this is Ernest Holmes, and he says, and so my faith, the faith of the little child in me, rises with expectancy to meet this new day in joy and to accept the bounty of heaven. And guess where that's from? The ones who've been watching, 365 Science of Mind, page 30. How about that? And this is Mary Davis. She says, I have lots of faith. I also have lots of fears. My fears tug at me relentlessly. Real fears, like the illness of a family member and the climate crisis, and the not so real ones, like slipping hopelessly behind the imaginary race to get through the piles on my desk. Yep, I can kind of relate to that one right now. But on most days, faith wins, not by default, but because each morning I roll out of bed at dawn to lock in practices that I can pull out of my pocketbook when overwhelm strikes me. Each day I am mindful to watch the sacred woven into the small moments. Each evening I offer gratitude for the blessings. Every hour in between I pray, recite affirmations, and remind myself that divine support is at my back and beneath my wings. These are little things, but added together, they seem to shore up my faith stockpiles. You can start a faith practice too. When worries threaten to rob your peace of mind today, faith can serve as a lighthouse on stormy seas, guiding you home to your calm center. Begin by recharging your morning spiritual practice. Enlist affirmative prayer and a patient heart. Activate hopeful thoughts and envision positive outcomes. Surrender your greatest trials and fears to the divine. Savor each moment with gentle gratitude and courageous trust. Do one thing at a time with love. Trust that with the divine, there can be peace in all the challenges within. And watch anxious thoughts melt into a sea of faith. Well, it really doesn't need much of an explanation, does it? Jesus said, pray without ceasing. And I would say that Mary Davis is offering to us, pray without ceasing. So when issues come up, flip them around to the positive. Know that there is a solution to everything. Right now, I have to look forward to scanning probably about 40 documents and send them off to my accountant. I've been putting it off today, but I told myself this morning I would do it before the day's out. And guess what? I'm going to do it. And I'm even more determined now that I've read this. So this in itself is a spiritual practice. It's actually reminding you to flip things around to the positive when things seem negative, to look at the positive, to look for that silver lining inside every cloud. So, as I said, I don't think it needs a lot more explanation. It speaks for itself. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, Reverend Jesse will be leading our service. He will be the main speaker, as he almost always is. Tune in for that. If you miss it, it will be recorded. Facebook, YouTube, it will be there. I think it could also very well be on, it's not on LinkedIn, but it could very well be on Instagram as well, I'm not sure. Reverend Lisa will be here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and also her recordings, like mine, will be available on our Facebook page. Mine also flip over to LinkedIn, YouTube, what else? Different Facebook pages, and sometimes others. Oh, Instagram, when I can actually get the time to do that. So that's really it for now. That's all I got to say. I think the reading is self-evident. The affirmation, I was split into two. Today, I surrender my greatest challenges to the divine. Today, I surrender my greatest challenges to the divine. At every crossroads, I choose faith over anxiety and love over fear. I like this one. At every crossroads, I choose faith over anxiety and love over fear. But what is one important lesson that isn't really mentioned here? That is that when we forget to do all these things and we find that we've been going down that road that we don't want to go down, which is worry, fear, etc., once we realize that and stop and come back, there is no benefit in chastising ourselves about it. What we do is we simply turn around and we carry on. Life is full of ups and downs. Beating ourselves up about the downs doesn't do us any good, doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't do the human race any good, or the planet, or anything. So, one thing to remember, the person to forgive first is yourself, and then you can start forgiving other people. The person to love first is yourself, and then you can start to love other people. Whatever your faith expression is, love is the center of everything. And if you don't really believe that now, well, just keep doing your work, and eventually you will come to know that love truly is the cause and the center and the be all and end all of everything. So until next time, namaste.